welcome to another shitty video of mine. And I'm just going to get into it real quick because this is the third time I've tried making this video. Reason I haven't been uploading is because I've been having major depressive episodes and I don't really see a point in doing anything. But either way, this video is about GamerGate, and again, this is the third time I'm trying this. But before I really get into it, I want to say I want to explain why gatekeeping is good. All right. So, and I'll give an analogy, okay? Let's say you're on a farm, alright? This is a family-owned farm, and you're a part of that original family, right? You're a part of that original group. Let's even go even further. It's an Amish farm, right? And you guys are doing you're doing your thing. You're milking the cows. You're collecting eggs. You're fucking shearing sheep, all right? And then your boss points out, your dad or some shit points out that there's strange people outside the fence. All right, they're very different from you. They're very different from you. All right, and then the outsiders come in and they ask your dad, your boss, or whatever. They ask, hey, this is a pretty nice farm. You think we could you think we could work on this? All right. And then your dad, your boss is like, yeah, sure, you can. Come on, we can always do the extra hand, all right. And then everything's okay for a little bit. Those outsiders, they're not the best at the work, but they're not the worst, and they do the work fine enough, all right. And then those outsiders call in some of their friends. They call in some of their outsider friends, and then more outsiders show up, and then more outsiders show up, until eventually there's more outsiders than there are the original family, the original workforce, the original community. And then all the outsiders start getting into positions of power, right? And now, your dad's, either he passed away, your boss passed away, he left, something happened to him. And now one of the outsiders, since there's more outsiders than there are the original community, one of the outsiders is now your boss. And now, since the outsiders have absolute power, then they can start purging people that they don't like. Let's say that there was one rule before the outsiders came that said no outsider can do such and such, like eat bread on a Sunday. We'll just fucking say, all right. And now, the original community, who was very adamant about that no bread on Sunday rule for outsiders, and now since the outsiders are in power, the outsiders can do away with those people. They purge the people that they don't like. Until eventually, there's such little of the original community left that it's nothing but fucking outsiders. That's why gatekeeping is good. Now let's give some examples of why gatekeeping is good. SCP Wiki. I was a part of the original SCP back when it was exclusively a 4chan paranormal board thing. Alright. I wrote a few articles that nobody even fucking remembers. Alright. But either way, I was a part of that original shit. But I did not jump to the SCP Wiki. And you want to know why? You want to know why I didn't fucking jump to the SCP Wiki? Because I immediately knew. I immediately fucking knew that once you have a power structure in that fucking shit, it's all gonna fucking collapse eventually. It's all gonna fucking collapse. I didn't predict that it was gonna be invaded by leftists and shit, liberals and SJWs. I didn't predict that, and I'm not gonna take credit for that. But I did predict that power structure is gonna fuck everything up, and it did. All right. So let's give it. So you got the original 4chan culture, the original old internet culture on the SCP Wiki, right? And everybody's doing their thing. You have your joke SCPs, the slutty little doorknob. You got your actual good SCPs. You got the quality shit, right? And little by little, left-leaning people, SJWs, liberals, start moving in, especially around, the 2014, 2016 era. They start moving in. And now, there's more left-leaning people than there were the original 4chan culture. And then the left-leaning people start getting in positions of power. Until now, the whole power structure I mentioned is nothing but left-leaning people. SJWs. Liberals. Libtards. I hate saying all this, but it's the only classification you can really put these people in. But then they start purging. They start purging people they don't like. They start purging articles they don't like. And now, SCP Wiki is nothing but a fucking cesspool of political agenda and a safe space hug box. And a lot of people are going to say in the comments, well, you're just mad because they had the pride flag during Pride Month on your SCP wiki. No, that's just straw that broke the camel's back. That wasn't, the other 10,000 fucking straws on the camel's back. That's just one. That's just the one that really hit the nail into the fucking coffin. That's not why I'm saying this. Now, with the SCP Wiki, you got shitty fucking self-insert articles. You got articles pushing political agenda. You got staff members pushing political agendas. You got all this political fucking throat shoving that now I don't even recognize the SCP Wiki. And it goes to show why you should gatekeep, why you should prevent outsiders from coming in. But either way, now we got the RPC authority. And I'll tell you what, I prefer the authority over the foundation, because not only are the articles of a much higher standard, but also everything in the RPC wiki is just profoundly more fucking cool. And I actually plan on writing articles for the RPC, but only problem is they're very, very high with their standards. They have very, very high standards, so I'm a little I'm a little anxious, a little afraid to write for that, because I'm pretty sure my shit's just gonna get rejected. But either way, getting off of that. So now that I've given a pretty decent example of why gatekeeping is a good thing and why you should gatekeep, now let's get into the whole controversy. All right. So who's doing the whole GamerGate is bad thing? It's, again, the liberal, the leftist, the feminist, the people who push their political agenda into everything, into literally fucking everything. I have yet to see any left-leaning person truly left-leaning. Like, I'm not saying, oh, well, I support abortion because, it's her body, it's her choice. Not just, having some left-leaning policies. I'm talking true blue fucking defeat the patriarchy, pro-socialism bullshit. All right, because that's the people that people complain about. That's the people that's the type of people I gatekeep from. The type of people that the gaming community gatekeeps from. That prevents from fucking coming in. We're talking about true blue fucking leftists. And I don't want no fucking Europeans to go, oh, well, your leftists are just the moderates. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking about America, bitch. But either way, getting off that now that I've pissed off European viewers. So, now that I've defined who is the issue and who we are actively trying to prevent from coming into the community, who are these people? And why do they do what they do? Well, you see, they have a political ideology that does not allow for all differing opinion to exist. We see this in everything. We see it in the comic book industry. We see it in the video game industry. We see it in fucking Hollywood. We see it fucking everywhere. Everywhere. The media, everywhere. It is everywhere. They have an ideology that knows it's bad. It knows that the pre-existing cultures do not like it and do not approve of it, because it does not work, first off, and it also spreads nothing but hatred towards everybody. Leftist ideology is one of victimhood and self-hatred and self-loathing. It is as if it's an entire ideology that has not promotes, but has a victim complex. But left-leaning ideologies cannot exist without an oppressor. It cannot exist without somebody being the victim, aka them being the victim. It cannot exist without with differing opinions that prove them wrong. That's why they silence people. That's why they purge people, because they don't like it, because they know they're in their fucking wrong. That's why they remove any semblance of truth. That's why they remove any semblance of opposition. And that's why they ultimately do nothing. Because they have to have an oppressor. They have to have a bad guy. They have to have the evil white man to be the evil guy, the bad guy. Because they gotta fight the oppressor. But either way, they push their political ideology of socialism, social justice. Not equality, Not equality, because they don't want equality. Because with equality, that would mean there would be no fucking oppressor. That would mean that the white man isn't the bad guy. They want equity. And let me go ahead and look up the definition of equity versus equality. Okay? So Google defines equality as equality. Google defines equality as the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. Let's look up equity. What does Google define equity as? Alright. It wants to be fucking retarded. Equity, the quality of being fair and impartial, and the second one of the value of shares issued by a company. Alright. Now, that doesn't sound so bad at first glance, does it? Equity sounds pretty alright. But here's what's the issue is. It says being fair. Life isn't fair, alright? And I'll tell you right now, it's only recently that I've had a semblance of an even remotely calm and peaceful life. A life where I'm financially stable and able to eat every day. It's only recently. Alright? When I was growing up, my entire family were always concerned, am I going to be able to eat today? My mom, on average, worked 2 jobs and worked her fucking ass off to support 5 fucking children and bum-ass men. Alright? She worked her ass off. My life wasn't fucking fair. I went to school and saw all these kids having their brand new fucking Nintendo 3DSs when I was still having a fucking Nintendo DS Lite. I saw all these kids having all this newfangled shit, clothes that weren't from fucking Goodwill. I saw all this fucking shit. Alright? I grew up fucking poor. Life isn't fucking fair. But you want to know what? I didn't blame anybody. Because, I mean, I kind of blame my mom, but either way, I'm not going to get into that. But I don't blame, white people. I don't blame black people. I don't blame any particular fucking group. Because it's not their fault. The reason why I grew up poor is the fault of one singular person rather than an entire fucking group. Alright? So, when fairness is brought into the equation, equity is about making everything fair. And you can only make everything fair by bringing the top people down. That's why socialism is supported by these people, because that's what equity is. Socialism. You have to bring people down in order to make everybody equal, because you cannot bring everybody up. You have to bring people down. Alright? So, that's the issue. Leftist ideology is pushed into everything. It's pushed into literally every facet they can possibly do. And gatekeeping is a very good thing for that reason. Because look at the video game industry now. You have AAA titles being nothing but political agendas. You have diversity hires who are not capable in their field and were only hired based off of the skin color and or religion. Alright? You have gender as well. Hired because of the gender. You have people completely and utterly unqualified to work in their fields, working in their fields. And it shows. The Last of Us 2 was not only a shitty game, but it was a political agenda. Granted, not as bad as other AAA titles, but I'll tell you right now. When you have to force a specific sexuality, a specific orientation onto the characters to make them a character, that's not a character, alright? Count out of times I say character. That's a shallow imitation of a person. That's a political agenda. Ellie from The Last of Us 2 and whatever stupid fucking bitch she was fighting throughout the entire game were both lesbians, if I recall it correctly. I know Ellie is, alright? But when that's the only fucking personality trait you have, You don't have a character. You have an imitation. You have a mouthpiece for your political agenda. Alright? And that's why I don't like lesbians. Not because I think lesbians are annoying, which I do. It's because they all do that shit. Fun fact of the day. Did you know that there's more domestic violence in lesbian relationships than any other form of relationship? The fairer sex, right? By the way, it's besides the point. You have big companies bowing down to leftist ideology, and they're bleeding money. They are actively bleeding money because the original communities that were there aren't interested in this shit. Gatekeeping is a very, very good thing. Gatekeep to the end, kings. Don't fucking stop gatekeeping. Keep these motherfuckers out, alright? Because once they get in, it's going to be just like the SCP Wiki. Once the floodgates truly fucking open, and it's just a horde of fucking bright dyed hair and lesbians and fucking just retarded fucking hammer and sickle wielding motherfuckers. Once they truly flood in like a horde of fucking zombies, it's over. Say goodbye to every fucking ounce of just quality, decency. Say goodbye to all that shit once these motherfuckers get in true positions of power. Because as long as those floodgates hold long enough for these big companies to realize that the dollar isn't with these leftist people, once they realize that these people don't actively buy their products, once they realize that the original community that was there won't buy their products, once they realize that, they'll shape up real fucking fast. They'll shape the fuck up. But either way, I don't really care if you enjoyed this video. I don't really care if I offended you. Because guess what? It's all fucking fact, alright? If you got a fucking issue with that, if you can't accept the reality of that, grow the fuck up. Alright? And if you are one of these leftist people, especially if you're in the comic book industry, or you know, you're actively in a staff position with the SCP Wiki, fuck you. Fuck you. Genuinely. Fuck you. As a human being. Like, you are genuinely like scum. Human scum. You are a genuine piece of fucking shit. Alright? But if you did enjoy this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't enjoy this, please comment about how much you fucking hate me and my opinion. But with all that said, have a nice fucking day.